From Ealing in West London, the latest from podnews.net with Supporting Cast. The world of podcasting is travelling to London for the podcast show, which has revealed its full programme of speakers. Delegates from more than 50 countries will attend, and the show has added 2 new spaces for international visitors. There are more than 450 speakers and 170 sessions. The results of the Pod News report card will be revealed in the first session at 9:15 a.m. on Wednesday. We learned that the report reveals that apps and platforms that continue investing in new features and good discoverability are prized by podcast creators. In the UK, Sky News is to launch Sky News Insider, a $2.99 a month subscription for ad-free access, bonus episodes and early releases. It's the first time Sky News has launched an additive paid-for news product. The company's using our sponsor, Supporting Cast, to sell podcast subscriptions. Flightcast has announced support for video on Apple Podcasts and HLS video through the alternate enclosure at no extra cost for all customers. The enterprise video podcast host is not charging for additional bandwidth or hosting to enable this feature, and all existing episodes have been pre-processed for customers on the platform, meaning they can enable Apple Podcasts video with no delay. The winners were announced for the 2026 Women Podcasters Awards. The awards recognise outstanding women-led podcasts and podcast professionals across a wide range of categories. Congratulations to Glenn the Geek, who was named and honoured as the 2026 Equine Industry Vision Award winner at the AHP Equine Media Conference. One of our earliest supporters, Glenn is one of the most generous people in podcasting and is the founder of the 18-year-old Horse Radio Network. Inception Point AI has restored missing AI disclosures following a Pod News story on Friday where we noted that they'd gone missing. In a statement, CEO Janine Wright blames a migration process and says, "We are proud to build AI native media products. Transparency around how that content is created is very important to us." Libsyn has appointed Todd Pringle as Vice President of Product. Pringle will lead product strategy and development across Libsyn's growing suite of publishing, distribution, monetization and advertising solutions. He joins from Amazon Music Podcasts, Stitcher and Deezer. There are plenty of podcast awards out there, but how to organise them all? Recognised has worked on a distinct taxonomy of awards, from platform-led awards to the Podcast Hall of Fame, broad awards like the Ambies, and specific mission-driven awards. It's a good list and an interesting categorisation. And Podscribe has announced expanded incrementality measurement capabilities for audio advertisers, including synthetic control groups, randomized user-level holdout testing, ghost holdouts, PSA control groups, and publisher-created holdout support, all of which hopefully means something to somebody. Talking of which, it's a Monday, so time for some tech stuff, and built from Podcast Index's public datasets, Alberto Batella has produced the Podroll Atlas, an open view of shows that have been recommended by others using the open Podroll recommendation feature. We're linked to a focus on the Pod News Weekly Review, for example, and the shows it recommends. And there's concern in some parts of podcasting about the Apple Podcasts web app, which is essentially making HLS Video M3U8 addresses public. While Apple Podcasts requires a complex API to submit HLS video playlists to the platform rather than use the open alternate enclosure, these playlists aren't kept secret and are visible in the browser inspection tools as soon as you hit play. For some podcast hosting companies using interstitial advertising, that could mean it's possible for someone to produce a separate M3U8 file without the advertising. And in podcast news, in the Pod News Weekly Review this week, the secrets of a really successful indie podcast and a look at a brand new podcast app from Germany. The Gist has hit 3,000 episodes, making it claims, America's longest-running daily news podcast. The show has also announced an exclusive direct sales partnership with Amplitude Media Partners. The BBC and American public media launch Must Be the Money today, produced in partnership with For the Culture by the Culture Media and All the Smoke Productions. The series blends personal financial strategy with cultural storytelling to demystify wealth building for audiences historically excluded from traditional financial media. And a new audio drama, Highgate Wood, launches today, a rock and roll ghost story. The show launches with its own music album. The 8-episode show concerns a fictional 1970s prog rock band and the aftermath of the tragedy that broke them apart. And this podcast is sponsored by Supporting Cast. Hello from the podcast show in London, they say. You can find Supporting Cast this week at their booth on the gallery level. You can swing by, grab a chat and talk subscriptions, or you can reach out to schedule a meeting. hello@supportingcast.fm is their email address. That's hello@supportingcast.fm. Good luck if they're in there already. They will, of course, be there from Wednesday, but you'll find a link to Supporting Cast in our show notes as well. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.